jinn a lot of strength, and Allah gave.
And the jinn race we had created before Adam.
And they lived on earth for 2,000 years. The jinn in these 2,000 years, the jinn are not the smartest. Allah gave the jinn a lot of strength, and Allah gave them a lot of powers, and they could do many things. And the jinn were living on this earth before Adam alayhi salam. And there were nations, and there were tribes, and they were living, and they were getting married, and there was descendants and so forth. But they were so corrupt on earth. They caused so much corruption. They killed each other, deceived each other, cheated on each other, took the rights from each other.
Now, Iblis is a creation of God. Iblis is a creation of God. Iblis is a jinn. Iblis is, he's made of fire, which the Quran talks again in several places that he's made of fire. But where did Iblis come from? And were there the likes of Iblis before? So the Mufassirun have commented. Again, this is based on those narrations that I talked about earlier. And what Allah Azza wa Jal did is that He created a whole creation of jinns that were on the earth. And this is, you will find in many of the early Mufassirun have commented on this. He created them on the earth, and they had got taklif. Now what is taklif? Taklif is that God's now given them a responsibility to recognize Him. Now when Allah gives responsibility to creation, He will send messengers. So what Allah did is that He sent jinn messengers. So before there was human messengers, before Adam alayhi salam, who was the first human messenger, there were many jinn messengers that Allah Azza wa Jal sent to them. Now the jinns are made of fire.
We know that the jinn are created from a smokeless flame of fire. It means the very edge or the tip of the flame.
And the jinns, one of the things they have inside, being fiery is that you're angry and you're hasty, you're fast, you're very powerful. Now the sifat and the qualities that the jinns have between them is that they are in fights, and they are in quabbles, and they are in superiority, and who can prove who's greater. This is one of the nature of the jinns, and they're always in the spirit of challenge. Now there are good jinns. Allah Azza wa Jalla has said that in Surah Jinn itself. He's talked about two different groups of jinns, and He said the salihun, and there's those who are pious and those who are not pious. Now the ones that were on the earth were both types, and messengers came down. But the messengers in the many numbers were killed by the jinns on the earth. And there was great corruption that prevailed on the earth. There was great corruption that prevailed on the earth. Now there was one notable jinn that was very pious. Iblis, being who he was a good jinn. And he started to worship God to the extent, because jinns could fly, and jinns could go through many of the heavens. They could go up and down. They didn't have to stay on the earth. They could travel up. It was only when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came that they were trapped within this first universe. This is clear from the Quran. This in Surah Safat you will find this. In Surah Jinn you will find this. That Allah did not allow them to go beyond the first heaven, or the first heaven meaning the end of this universe. They can't go past that after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a prophet. But before that they could go above that. So what happened is that on these travels, Iblis proved himself that he was so close to God. And Allah Azza wa Jal then allowed him to get closer and closer to higher and higher basically. And they say in some of these narrations that there was no space in the heavens was left, like no large space was left in the heaven, but Iblis had gone there and he had worshipped God. So he was a very, very, very close, you could say jinn, servant jinn, however you want to put it, to God. Until then, Allah Azza wa Jal allowed him to come in the company of the malaika, of the angels. And he got the chance to be in the company of the malaika. Allah decided that He's going to send the angels down to the earth and to banish the mutamarrideen, or those jinns that had causes a lot of corruption on the earth. So this group was going to come down, and they're going to kill many of these jinns that were just out of control. Iblis volunteered that if he can come with the angels to kill these corrupted jinns on the earth, and Allah Azza wa Jal gave him permission. So he came and they killed a lot of these jinns. They left only a few on the earth. And from these few, again, the progeny of the jinns would start. Now Iblis returns back. Now many, maybe hundreds of years, I don't know, whatever is going by, because jinns have very long lives. They don't have short lives like the human beings that, we only have 60, 70, 100 years. They have hundreds of years. Perhaps they could have a few thousands of years of living. Now you've got Iblis that has gone down there, that has banished these jinns, most of them who are corrupted on the earth, and is returned back with the angels. Now he was with the angels, but Allah makes it very clear that he was not from the malaika, he was from the jinn. Now why Allah makes that clear is because we understand that no malak or no angel can ever disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah's made it in their nature not to disobey Allah, but a jinn can.